Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, I think some of you have seen me before. Notice I've just started a recorder going. Okay. Is it because I'm going to say something special? I don't know. It's just a habit of my life. I just push the play button, the record button. Okay? Automate things that can help you. Automate things that can help you. I want to talk about where are you? You're halfway through. You're halfway through this semester, am I right? Yes or no? Yes. And what did I impress upon you last time we met? Something about, put your hand up if you love accounting. Right? Hands up for those that love accounting. Okay, some of you, good, you're brave. It's brave of you to say that you love something in front of everyone else. Or some of you are worried about the exam. The exam is very important and we cannot delay the exam. And then finally I thought, okay, you're struggling with what you love. You're going to struggle with the exam because none of you want to take the exam. You'd sooner pass without taking an exam, am I right? I think I know what you're going to say with that one. So the only last option was to find some inspiration. So my question to you over the last 3 weeks, have you found some inspiration? Can I have a show of hands? In anything associated with this subject? Have you checked? Have you taken action? Who has taken action? Anyone? What do I mean by action? You actually sort out some lessons on YouTube that may cover the same content as what we're covering today or the week that I was here. Sometimes you don't learn something until you hear it 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. And remember, the challenge that you have with your mind is that your mind likes variety. That's why you like to watch a movie for the first time. How many of you like to watch a movie for a second time within 1 day? Maybe 1 year later or 2 years later when you've forgotten about most of it, but you want to watch it again because you know it was good, but you've forgotten enough to make it interesting for your mind to be occupied. That's a dilemma all students face. In order to learn something, you need to overcome that variety trip that your mind is looking for. Because you learnt accounting for biological assets, is that right? This week. And last week you learnt about employee leases. Last week you learnt leases. Okay, so what if you were to watch that lecture again? What if you were to listen to that lecture again? The first thing is that, it's a bit boring to do it a second time, then a third time, then a fourth time. But that's your challenge. That is your challenge, and that's what you need to start automating. This is what will get you, remember, what is our goal? We want you to have confidence that you'll do well in the exam. How do you get to that goal? You need to overcome your variety needs in your mind. Okay? How many of you have played this following game? We're going to play a game now. Can I ask all of you to, have you got a watch? Okay, I will give you the time, okay? You've got your smartphone, look at that, all right? I want all of you to take your pulse, okay? How many of you, when was the last time you were in triage? I was in triage about 3 weeks ago. I love it. I love it. Sometimes the machine can't record my heartbeat, it's so low. Okay, so how many of you have been in triage in the last 12 months? Anyone? Triage means they take your pulse, blood pressure, things like that. Okay, we're going to listen to your pulse right now. So can I ask you just to feel your pulse? Everyone please, at the back. Okay? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to count for 15 seconds. And so you're just going to count how many beats, and then we're going to multiply it by 4. Okay, so the 15 seconds begins. 3, 2, 1. Stop. Okay, so you've got a number, roughly, multiply it by 4. Okay, so can you write that down? Write down that number now. That's for your own personal. Write the number down. I want you to write that number down, please. Do you need a pen? I've got a spare pen if anyone needs a pen. Okay. Okay, what are we doing here? Let's be very, very clear. I just want to know if you are feeling yourself. What do I mean is, often when you come into a lecture, it's the mind that needs to be awake because you need to listen to the lecture, right? How many of you are like me, where you're in a lecture and after the first 7 minutes, you start to fall asleep? Put your hand up. I know how you feel. I do the same sometimes. Okay? But now, I've just asked you to tell me something about, not your mind, but something about your physical. All of you have got a heart that's beating. Am I right? Yes or no? How many of you felt your pulse? Can I have a show of hands? Okay, great. I'm glad. Good. Okay, I've got a pulse too. All right? Treasure that. That is yours. That's not mine. Monash doesn't own that. That's yours. Because here's the thing. One day, it's going to stop. One day, that little thing you feel is going to stop. So every morning, I want you to think about the following. Appreciate that you have something that automatically starts. It's not like a lawnmower or a motorbike where you have to start it up every day. No, it just automatically keeps going. And because it's automatic, we forget about it. And because we forget about it, we lose sense about the priorities we have in life. We lose sense. And most of us go through our daily existence on autopilot. What do we mean by autopilot? Come to the lecture, listen a little bit, fall asleep, make some notes, do our best. Okay, we go to coffee, then we go to something else, all right? And we're just going through the daily routine, and we hope that when we get to the exam that we know enough that we can pass the exam. What I want you to start thinking about is, you've got an engine here. You've got an engine here that is working automatically, but the minute you start to think, that engine is giving me life today. What am I going to do with that day my own engine has given me? What am I going to do with that? Am I going to drive it down the road to nowhere and drive it into a ditch? Or am I going to drive it onto a road where it goes somewhere meaningful into the future? These are choices that you make daily. These are choices that you make weekly, monthly, yearly. It's something that you can think about the first minute you wake up every morning. What is it that you want? Can this help you? Will this help you pass the exam? Yes, it will, because it may help you just to stay a little bit more focused on the lecture. Maybe instead of for 7 minutes, maybe you can go for 15 minutes. And the next time, maybe you can go for 20 minutes. All right? You can't expect to go for, I can only do 7 minutes on average, now I've got to try and do an hour. Okay, step by step, baby steps. That's how you need an elephant, okay? Baby steps, you improve, all right? Because you are thinking about, okay, my engine is bringing me here to the lecture. All right, my mind, you have responsibility to do as best you can for this hour that you have in the lecture. Okay? How many of you have ever thought about that this engine's going to stop one day? All right? That's a reality. All right? But we go through life thinking that it's going to go on forever. The way we approach our life, a lot of us behave as if, we're going to live forever. You know? In other words, we think about just using every day as it exists. We don't put something away for tomorrow. How do we put something away for tomorrow? You start to deprioritise something today that is not as important. What do I mean by that? You start to deprioritise noises in your head that, I need to spend some time with my friends after the lecture just talking about non-accounting stuff or non-stuff. Maybe you need to reprioritise that with meeting with some other buddies so you talk about what was discussed in the lecture. Oh, I didn't understand slide 3. I didn't understand the 20-minute mark because I lost concentration after the 7-minute mark. Okay? You start to make these choices. These are healthy choices that you make. And these are choices not for your consumption today. It's for your benefit in 6 weeks' time. And this is how you cannot not stop doing these automated things that don't contribute to this without replacing it with something else. So let me give you some strategies for replacement. Okay? So overall, the long game, I'm going to talk about in a minute. But your strategy, your biggest challenge is that there is a lot of noise in your life. There's a lot of noise in all our lives. What do we mean by noise? Distractions. And your senses just need to be constantly entertained, constantly amazed. You want variety. You want to know what's going to happen. You want likes on Facebook. That dopamine gives you a great kick. When you look on Facebook, when you look on Instagram, you see the likes. I understand it. I get that. We need to start replacing that with other things. What do I mean? Maybe it is watching YouTube on specific topics, other courses that you're doing, other units. Watching YouTube can replace. You cannot stop a bad habit unless you replace it with something else. I don't mean to say a bad habit. What I mean is it creates noise in your life if you agree that it's important for you to have confidence for this goal in 6 weeks' time. If that's important to you, then there's stuff we do every day that's creating noise in your life. How do you get peace? You replace that noise with something associated with that goal. You replace that noise, use hardware, headphones, noise reduction headphones. You put them on, go to a coffee shop and put noise reduction headphones on, and you feel the quietness. It is amazing. These are practical strategies you can do. Okay? When I'm in my office and working, I put noise reduction headphones on. Not because I can't hear you. I don't want to hear you when you're not to see me. I'm always welcoming you to see me. But I need to focus because I won't get my goals achieved too. I need to cut down my noise. All of us do. We're all human. All right? So all of us are facing a lot of noise. So you need to watch things that are consistent with the future state that you want to arrive at. You need to, maybe you need to start asking questions. Start asking questions about the topic in the lecture. So as the lecturer is going through, write down questions that you have about the topic. And though the fact that you start asking questions in your mind will drown out other noise. Like your mind is always looking for some entertainment, some variety. You fill that mind with questions associated with the topic. It'll help your mind focus. Okay? So I just want to leave you with some of these ideas that help you to focus, all right? You cannot drown out noise unless you replace it with something. Replace it with questions, or replace it with watching or listening to content that's related to the goal you want to achieve. Okay? Practically, you can drown out the noise, that is, the noise in the environment, by using headphones. I do that all the time. Okay? Finally, I want to leave you with the long game. What is the long game? And what has that got to do with this engine of yours? Every day, ask yourself, who am I? What do I want? You may not have an answer to that. That's fine. I can tell you, you're going to have a job interview in could be 6 weeks' time, it could be 6 months' time. It's coming close, am I right? Job interviews are coming close, am I right? Okay, so in the job interview, all of you have got CVs. Minus transcript. You're all doing very, very well. Whether you get A, B or C, that won't matter in the interview. If that was all that mattered, then we don't need to interview you. What matters is how well you are aware of yourself. That will be a defining factor in the interview. How well are you aware of your weaknesses? Okay, so am I asking you to take an inventory of your strengths and weaknesses? No. All I'm asking you to do is just ask yourself every day when you get up, every day, who am I? What do I want? Just keep asking. You program that question in your mind at the start of every day, your mind will start looking for answers. It's just like a Google search function. Okay? You will be amazed after doing that for 30 days in a row how much you know more about yourself. Even without trying to find answers. Just by asking yourself that question every day. And when you go into a job interview, you'll be so much more advanced. So these are practical strategies you can do. Practical. Hey, I grew up on a farm. That's all I can think about. I'm a very practical person. Okay, so what's an example about focus that I can share with you? I'll finish with this, and this is the long game, because the long game is you doing things every day that contribute to your better future self. All right, so you're delaying your gratification today for a future better self. Okay, that's the long game. Right? Asking yourself, who am I, what do you want? That's the long game. It will help you in the job interview. The next 5 years of your life as an auditor can be very boring. It can be very exciting. But that is not why you do a degree. The next 5 years is you getting experience in the business world. The long game is in 8 to 10 years' time, where you can start to think about, which area or industry or specialisation do I want to think about? The long game is thinking about where you're going to be in 8 to 10 years' time. I'm not asking you to do that now, but when it comes to job interviews, it's okay to say, I'm not really sure if I want to do auditing, but I want to understand more about business. And I'm still learning about myself. I think that I like this, this and this, and I'm becoming more aware in these areas. That's what a job interview may be like. It's not about having all the answers. See this here, this is a paper I've been working on. Okay? This is a project I've been working on with, how many of you know HTC? HTC, you know, a smartphone manufacturer from Taiwan? Okay, so I started working with HTC in 2008. We got data from them on their scorecard from 2010 to about 2013. This paper is an analysis of that data that I collected over 6 years ago. Okay, this paper I've been working on for over 6 years. Okay, this is what we call a long game. Okay, and you probably think, what, is that all academics do? No wonder why they go crazy. No, of course I'm doing lots of other papers and projects and things like that, but I just want to let you know that the long game is something where you can be extremely focused on something very, very specific over many, many years. That takes training. Most of you are ill-equipped to actually start a long game like that when you graduate. The last thing you want to do in an interview is say, oh, I want to be an auditor for the rest of my life. That you can never convince anyone in an interview that that's what you want to do, okay? All right? It's better to be realistic and learn what long game do you want to play, and that may take 5 years for you to figure out what that is. Okay? So I just want to leave you with that. The next time I'll probably see you, maybe exam time. I'm not going to disrupt your class. But remember, take notice of the tactics. Take notice of the noise in your mind every day. All right? There are distractions. And make choices for your future, in the immediate future, the next 6 weeks. Okay? I understand lectures. It's hard to sit through them for a long time. Okay? Record them. Write down questions. If you find parts of the lecture you're starting to nod off, write down questions to wake yourself up. Okay? Get a group of 3 or 4 of you together and go see Dr. Janthi for consultation. Do that. Do not wait the week 10, 11 or 12. Okay? Do that over the midterm break. Do that next week, whenever you can. Do that today. Okay? That's all I want to say. And study hard. And if you want to come and see me anytime, you know where my office is at the southern end of the building on level 5. So thank you very much, and I'll see you around the courtyard. Thank you.